Nice thing to do on a web page, especially in your navigation links, is to add a submenu. So we're going to do one here with one of the Ring of Gullion pages. So let me show you what the finished product should look like. Here is a familiar looking page, Ring of Gullion. It's called rocks.html. So this is being given to you in the resources. Okay, as a new image in here as well, so we're going to put that in as a second image, and then the instructions here in the submenus document. Okay, so here is the new image, and here is a submenu. Okay, so let's think about what we're doing here. I've got a sort of light gray background there. Okay, notice I have put a little bit of space in here just to separate it out, but that's not particularly necessary. So the story here is, if I put the mouse over this link here, a submenu appears, and notice what happens. The first link, if you like, the top level link, goes blue bold, and the background color goes a little bit darker gray. Okay, like that. And then the first level of submenu, igneous, sedimentary, metamorphic, different rock types, you can see the gray there is a little bit darker. When I put the mouse over each of these, we get 3 new submenus appearing. Okay, so notice that when I put the mouse over one of these gray areas, the gray area gets darker. Okay, and the link goes bold. And similarly if I come over here. Okay, so all these links here are going to various Wikipedia pages about different rock types. Okay, let's just close that. Okay, so that is the story. That is what we're going to build. Okay, so and we're going to do it all with CSS. I'm giving you all the HTML to deal with this. So essentially what we have here is we have an unordered list with one list item. Okay, Wikipedia links rock types. Inside that list item, we've got another unordered list with 3 list items. Okay, and each of these list items has got one word followed by another unordered list. Okay, so igneous has got an unordered list with 4, sedimentary has got an unordered list with 5, and metamorphic has got an unordered list with 4. Okay, so we're going to achieve all this by just using CSS, but let me just show you the HTML that I'm giving you so we can talk our way through it. Here is the unordered list. Okay, the first level, the higher level, that's got one list item. Okay, and we've got some links here. We've got one link here. Okay, inside this list item, and then we've got an unordered list here with 3 links in it. Okay, and then each of those list items has got its own unordered list as well. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 for igneous rocks. For sedimentary, another unordered list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then finally the third list item at the middle level, metamorphic, unordered list, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's our code. So what we're going to do here is we are going to basically create a style sheet, okay, and link to it. So the approach here should be, you'll take this rocks.html, you'll take the let me just show you where it is, the winter solstice image. Okay, put these in your Ring of Gullion folder that you've already worked on. Okay, so rocks.html is going to go in at the same level as index, history and culture.html, and then Steve Gullion winter solstice.jpg, that's going to go into your images subfolder. Okay, and then you're going to create a new style sheet called rocks.css. Now what I'm doing here is, each time I go through a particular subsection on the notes, I am going to create a different style sheet, so you can see how it works as time goes on. Okay, so at the moment, okay, where am I? So that's page 2. There's explaining where all these files should go. Hopefully that makes sense. And then At the end of page 3, okay, what have I done here? I have added in a white and background color orange for the H2, H3, and I'm also putting in a style for hash separator. Okay, a hash separator, let me just show you where that is. That is in the HTML. And it's just there. Okay, so this extra web page called Contact Us, I'm putting ID equals separator. And what am I doing here? I am putting margin bottom of 30 pixels. Okay, so that is on page 3 of the notes. So let me run that. So after page 3 of the notes, we should see that there. Okay, so here are our links. Okay, on our unordered list, first level with one list item, and then inside that list item we've got an unordered list with 3 list items, and then each of those 3 list items has got its own unordered list. Okay, so at the moment, not making anything invisible, not putting any not getting rid of any bullet points, and not putting any gray shades of gray background, just leaving them all there. And this is just a default. Okay, for unordered list we put in, or the browser puts in, its own default version. This is in Chrome, and then the separator has a margin, so that's why we get that space there. Okay, so what we have to do, let me just talk about what we're going to be doing. We need to make, we're going to do it all with the CSS. We need to make these lists. We need to make the igneous, sedimentary, metamorphic, unordered list invisible until we put the mouse over this link. And this granite pyroclastics unordered list, this limestone gypsum unordered list, and this schist gneiss unordered list, they have to be invisible until we put our mouse over either the word igneous, the word sedimentary, or the word metamorphic. Okay, so that is the story. When we put our mouse over granite, we want igneous, sedimentary, metamorphic, we want those to still be visible. Okay, so it's all going to be about using the hover in CSS. Okay, mouse over, take the mouse away, which is not hover. So we want basically lists to be appearing or disappearing. Okay, and we want the background color to change as well, and the text to go bold or not bold. So that is where we are at. So let's move on to page 4. Okay, and let me come back in here. Roxo 3, I am going to save that as Roxo 4, okay, just to match the page number in the Word document. Okay, and Roxo 4, what do we want to do here? We want to get rid of all our bullet points. Okay, we want to get rid of the margin. If you notice, when you have a list inside a list, you're getting an indent each time, each level you go down. So that indent is about 40 pixels. So if we put margin left for each unordered list, margin left of -40, we're going to pull the list items over to the left. So they're all going to be at the same level. So that is the plan. Okay, so let's type that in. Nav. So any unordered list inside the navigation. Okay, we may have unordered lists outside the navigation. Bullet points, in fact we do, don't we? We're using the favicon later on in the page. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to get rid of the bullet point symbol. Okay, so that's going to be none. And then I want to make the margin left -40 pixels. Okay, so that's going to pull them all to the same level. Okay, the next thing I want to do is every single list item, need to spell properly, don't I? I want the text to be not bold. Okay, so that's what font weight is all about. We have to set our links to be inline block. Sorry. Now inline block is really important. Okay, inline block is going to be really useful for the text before a text box in a form or before a selection list. We use it quite a lot. So by setting the inline block and setting the width, we can keep them all nice and neat. So that is essentially what that's all about. And then we want to set the relative position. Okay, so what that means is the position of the list items relative to where are these list items. They're inside the nav. Okay, so that they're all being positioned relative to the top left of the nav, beginning of the nav tag essentially. And then I'm setting a width for each list item of 130 pixels. Okay, so we don't want them taking up the entire page, so we're just going to leave them at 130 pixels. And then I want to set a background color, a shade of gray, and we are going to use a shade of gray. Okay, gray means that there's the same amount of each primary color. Okay, so DD for red, DD for green, DD for blue. You may or may not know that white would be #FFFFFF. Okay, and in fact, because the three are the same, because each character is the same, for this we could just write #DDD if we wanted. But I tend not to do that, so let's just have it. Okay, so we're on rock 04. And I need to change this as well. Okay, and let's just run this here. Okay, and we can see here, which matches the screenshot on the bottom of page 4, we can see that all these links, no bullet points, they've got the blue or the grey background, they're not bold when you put the mouse over, and they're all not indented relative to each other. They're all there nicely in a straight line. Okay, part 2 coming up.